Hey, it's Amy Scott Grant. They call me the spiritual ass kicker. And I'm here with another tip for you on how to use the Spiritual Ass Kickers Discovery Deck, which, if you don't know, this is my deck that I created that helps you get to the root cause of any block, whether that's a doubt, fear, limiting belief, whatever it is, okay, to help you get to the bottom. And the card that I want to address today, it's one that for most people, they feel a little twinge when this card comes up. Like, it can actually be scary when you see the addiction card, okay? And you see the description is irresistible attraction. That's really all an addiction is, okay? Now, the word addiction has a lot of charge around it. When we hear addiction, it's funny because it has a lot of charge, but it's also a word like we throw around. The kids throw it around, tweens throw it around, teens throw it around. You know, like, oh my God, I'm totally addicted to that show. Like, Starbucks, super blah, 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 latte. Like, totally addicted. I'm addicted. But when the word comes up in a non-slang, real life situation, people bristle, right? Like, there's an emotional, kind of an electric charge around the word addiction. So when you see this come up in a reading, first off, if you're doing a reading for someone else, you might be hesitant to even mention it. And when you see it come up for yourself, it's kind of like, whoa, nobody said I was addicted to this, right? Or it may even cause you to feel confused. Because let's say that you're doing a clearing around a negative person in your life and you're like, why can't I cut ties with this person? And then this card comes up and you're like, what? Is this person on drugs? Am I on drugs? Wait, I'm not on drugs. They must be on drugs. It's just kind of like, it can kind of throw you for a loop. Here's what you need to know, okay? When the addiction card comes up in a reading, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with a substance. It doesn't mean it's about drugs or alcohol or cigarettes or pot or sex or whatever, okay? A person can have an addiction to anything. You could be addicted to mayonnaise. You could be addicted. Oh, there's a lot of addictions around money. Oh my gosh. If you're doing a clearing around money and addiction comes up, I highly recommend you get the book Money Drunk, Money Sober by Julia Cameron and some guy, Mark something, can't remember his name. Julia Cameron, same author that did The Artist's Way, which was like for blocked creatives, which came out of her work in a 12-step program. But at any rate, she wrote this great book, Money Drunk, Money Sober. Highly recommend it. But if addiction comes up around money, I recommend you get that book. But you could also be addicted to some aspect of a toxic relationship, or having a certain type of person in your life, or feeling a certain way, which may not be a positive feeling. All the more reason why you're likely to bristle when you're like, whoa, you're saying I'm addicted to being the victim. That really doesn't resonate. Did the resistance card come up in the same reading? Because if so, it's pretty clear what's going on. Now, this is really no joke, right? And I'm trying to keep this as serious as possible for me, but addiction is no joke. And when this card comes up, what I want you to know is it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you have to start going to 12-step programs. It like what it means is this is calling your attention to what is the core issue. The core issue is you have some type of irresistible attraction to something that is no bueno for you. Okay, it's really not good for you. I mean, you could actually have an addiction to something that is inherently good, like working out. Have you ever met anybody who was like a workoutaholic, like for real? Like they would work out for hours every day, and they weren't bodybuilders, and it wasn't like they were training for a specific event. They just were like, they were addicted to maybe the adrenaline rush, or there's always something driving an addiction, okay? But it's like they say, the first step is recognizing that you have a problem, that the addiction even exists. And that's why this card will come up to let you know, hey, there's an addiction here. Now, what I want to tell you about addictions is they are hella hard to clear by yourself because you're addicted. And you may be addicted around this person or this feeling or this experience or this, it could even be disappointment, right? But whatever it is, you're addicted. Would you leave an alcoholic that you loved in a bar and think, well, you know, he says he can handle it, so I'm just going to walk away? I don't know. Maybe you'd go to an Al-Anon meeting and see what they say. But that's probably the last place you want to leave that addict. And you know how an addict has to reach rock bottom before they decide that they want to change? Well, I'm going to challenge you to consider that if you did a card reading for yourself and this card came up, you're there. Okay? You do not have to wait until you get to rock bottom. The card is coming up because you're ready to hear it, you're ready to see it, you're ready to know about it. So you don't have to wreck your life before you go, wow, this addiction's out of control. But the first step is recognizing this addiction came up for a reason. It's not just, it wasn't a fluke, it wasn't an accident. Okay, there's something there. So that's the first step, is like accepting, wow, okay, there's some kind of unhealthy, irresistible attraction here that I need to deal with. And then the next step I would recommend is getting help. So either work with a healer who is experienced in addiction and clearing addictions. You know, I am, but I happen to know some others that are as well, and you might as well too. And this is probably one of those things that at some point I will write a book about, because addictions can be cleared. They can be healed. They don't always have to just be managed in order to avoid the addiction. You can actually heal them completely once you heal the underlying reason for the addiction. And that's true of anything. Mayonnaise, relationships, disappointment, money, like whatever is going on. So pay attention when this card comes up, acknowledge it, realize this is helping you by showing you there's a problem there, and get some help in clearing it. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. By the way, if you know somebody this video could help, would you please share it? Because they might not ever find it otherwise. So wouldn't you be a delightful friend to share that with them? All right, and subscribe so you get all these videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.